Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here. Today on the US Open Tournament on Draftkings. Yes, it is major week, guys, and really excited to be talking some PGA, some golf action. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos breaking down NBA, NFL, PGA, and esports, daily fantasy sports sites. Before I get into analysis real quick, I do want to say thank you guys again for all support. Seriously, in the YouTube comment section, on Twitter, on the live streams, I really do appreciate it, guys. The easiest way to support me with all the content being free, leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. I have a lot of content coming out for you guys. NFL content almost every single day, NBA as well, PGA. Yeah, there's a lot of content. Also, if you guys cannot watch YouTube videos, I do upload on Apple Podcasts. The link is in the description below. It's the DK DFS show. But with that all out of the way, let's jump into the video. So, let's talk about what I have included for you guys on the spreadsheet. If you guys want access to this, all you have to do is follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description below. It's just DK__DFS on Twitter. I did already tweet this out. So, what I included here is obviously the player names on the left, their Draftkings salary, and then the Vegas odds. So Dustin Johnson is 850 or 8.5 to 1 odds to win. So he's currently the favorite and a guy that's been in amazing form. Included the average points per game on DraftKings. The course history, this is for the U.S. Open, so not necessarily on this exact course, but most, the U.S. Opens year to year are very similar, more difficult courses that, you're going to have to hit in the fairway. If not, you're in trouble. They're not like courses that you're going to be like 20 under par, right? This could be a tournament where maybe like 1 over par wins, honestly. So included the course history for the U.S. Open the last 3 years. And then some stroke gain rankings. So I included off the tee, driving distance, driving accuracy, putting, birdie or better, tee to green approach around the green, strokes gained total, and then par 3, par 4, and par 5 rankings. Usually, when I make these videos, I want to focus on a few things, but I really think we have to take everything in consideration. I really think, the cream of the crop, the top golfers will show up for this major. I included driving, a lot of the driving statistics on the left-hand side because I think it is really important. Driving accuracy is going to be big here because if you hit in the rough, you're going to have a rough time. So yeah, included, I think distance paired with accuracy is really key. If you can find a guy that can obviously bomb it as well as hit it accurate, I think that's going to be like the ideal golfer. Obviously, putting too. Putting is going to be super important here because the greens are really difficult. So, the best putters are really going to have to show up here. Birdie or better as well kind of correlates with putting, right? Players that are good putting, are obviously guys that get birdies a lot, so those correlate a little bit. Tee to green is basically, tee to green, basically everything, and then approach around the green, total, par 3, par 4, par 5. So I want to take everything in consideration. I don't really want to focus on one thing, but that's what we have included on the spreadsheet. So without further ado, let's talk about the players for this week. So let's talk about all the guys 10K and above. We have DJ at 11.5, Rahm at 11K, JT at 10.7, Rory at 10.5, Xander at 10.1, Morikawa at 10K. Let's first start with DJ, right? A guy that's been in absolutely amazing form. Yeah, he is really hot. You're going to have to pay a premium for him at 11.5K, but I think the upside is there with him right now. He's playing unbelievable golf. Finished 3rd in 2018, 35th last year. Just a guy that is absolutely on fire. He's good off the tee. He's got good driving distance. His accuracy is a little bit shaky at times, but I'm not putting a whole lot of weight into that. Birdie or better 3rd, tee to green 9th. There's really not a whole lot of downside to say about Dustin Johnson besides the fact that it's just the salary, right? 11.5. Are you comfortable getting up to him? You're going to have to sacrifice a bit, but right now, for the way he's playing, I think his floor is super high. And definitely a guy that has great odds. If you just look at the Vegas odds, right, 8.5 to 1 to win. So DJ looks great today if you can get up to him. Rahm's at 11K. I think he is, of the top two guys, we'll go a little bit lower owned compared to DJ, but another guy that's been in really solid form as well. He finished third last year. His numbers all look really good as well. If you just name a few, right off the tee, he's fourth, 11th birdie or better, third tee to green. So again, not a lot of downside to say about Rahm either. JT's at 10-7. He's the guy that's been a little bit more inconsistent. His putting's been really good in some tournaments, not so good in others. I think that is key for him. Like he also obviously has great numbers. I mean, a lot of the guys at the top are going to look good, right? JT, second birdie or better, first tee to green, first approach. It's just, does he get the putting down for this tournament? Rory's at 10-5. He's been, slightly disappointing recently. So right now, I think he's more of just a contrarian play. The price has not come down enough for me to really be super excited about Rory. Xander's the guy that's going to be really popular, and I agree. 10-1, not really getting him at an amazing discount, but if you look, he's been great at the U.S. Opens. 3rd, 6th, 5th, a guy that's been in really, really good form, and all the numbers look really, really good for Xander. So all the things are pointing to Xander being a really, really good play. Guy's been in really good form, and if you want to get to a guy that's been in really good form, you can't get to DJ. I think Xander is probably your guy. So those two guys, DJ and Xander, are going to be the most popular, in my opinion, of these top guys. And I think it's for good reason. Morikawa's at 10K, so he makes for an interesting pivot off of Xander. Like I said, I think Xander will garner way more ownership than Xander. Xander will garner more ownership than Morikawa. Sorry. Morikawa's 20-1 odds to win. Xander's 16-1 odds to win. Morikawa's a guy that's been in really solid form. I think he's won like 2 of the last 6 or 7 tournaments. So I have absolutely no issue with Morikawa. Like I said, I think he makes for an interesting pivot off of a guy like Xander. So of the top, 6 guys? I think it's probably DJ and Xander that stand out the most. And if I had to pick just one of those guys, I think it would be Xander, even though I know he's going to be pretty popular this week. Let's move on to the 9K range. We have Bryson at 9.9, Webb at 9.7, Cantlay at 9.4, Berger at 9.2, Finau at 9.1, Hideki at 9K. Well, Bryson, the big question here is, can he be accurate enough off the tee, right? Because everything else looks really good for Bryson. He's first off the tee, first in driving distance. He's a bomber. It's just, can he be accurate? He hasn't really been accurate lately off the tee, which is a concern, right? The distance does help, but the roughs are going to be really, really brutal. He's been a good putter too. Like I said, everything pretty much looks good besides just his accuracy. So I don't have an issue with Bryson. I think he's just a little bit risky right now for the reason of he's been struggling to put the ball in the fairway. I think that is very, very important on this course. Now, Webb Simpson's a guy at 9.7 that has been really solid, in the U.S. Open the last 3 years, 16th, 10th, and 35th. He's not a huge bomber, but what he is, he's accurate. So are you going to prioritize the distance? Are you going to prioritize the accuracy? For me, I think I might slightly give the edge to the accuracy. Like, I think I would rather have Webb, a guy that I know is most of the time pretty accurate off the tee, compared to Bryson, who's a bomber that not necessarily hits it in the fairway all the time. So it's a close one, but I think I will slightly give the edge there to Webb. He's a great putter as well. First birdie or better. Like, I think the numbers look really, really good for Webb, besides just the fact that he's not a huge bomber off the tee, but that doesn't concern me too much here. So Webb's a guy in the 9K range, probably my favorite play in the 9K range. Then you have Cantlay, then you have Berger. So I don't really have an issue with either of these guys. I think they're more contrarian plays for me, at least. And I don't want to recommend everyone on the slate. That wouldn't do anyone, any justice. So yeah, for me, I would prefer Webb to Cantlay to Berger, but Cantlay and Berger are perfectly fine if you land on those guys. Don't really have an issue there. If you guys have been watching my PGA videos for a while, you guys know I love playing Tony Finau. He's been a little bit more up and down recently. He was on a really hot stretch in the last 3 or 4 tournaments, kind of cooled off a bit. His concern, like Bryson, is the accuracy, the driving accuracy. He can be inaccurate at times, and I think that is slightly worrisome on a course like this. Other than that, though, everything else looks pretty good. So I think Finau is a guy that I always like playing him. Am I going to play him this week? Don't know for sure, but he's always in consideration for me because he's a guy that he's a great birdie or better. Right? He can go out and get you a lot of birdies. With a course like this, I think that is important. Hideki Matsuyama is at 9K. Another guy that I think will be popular. I think it is for pretty good reason. The price is playable. He's also been really, really good at the U.S. Open. 21st, 16th, and 2nd the last 3 years. His issue is his putter, but he's been relatively okay in recent tournaments, with putting. Also, a little bit inaccurate off the tee as well, but 26 birdie or better, 2nd tee to green, 5th approach, 5th around the green, 17th total, and the good course history. All that makes for Hideki, in my opinion, a pretty solid play in the 9K range. So, of the guys in the 9K range, I would probably rank it Webb for me 1, then either Finau or Hideki for me. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're on to the 8K range. There's a good amount of players here in the 8K range. We have Fleetwood at 8.9, Day at 8.8, Scott at 8.7, Woods at 8.6, Patrick Reed at 8.5, Rose at 8.4, Ricky at 8.3, Hatton at 8.1, Hovland and Fitzpatrick at 8K. So Fleetwood's an interesting play at 8.9, a guy that's been a little bit more up and down since coming back from the coronavirus break. Does have some good course history here. Finished 2nd in 2018, 4th in 2017. Everything actually is pointing to Fleetwood being a pretty good play here, right? He's 24th off the tee, 14th in distance, not terrible accuracy, a good putter. And I don't know if he's going to get too much ownership. So Fleetwood's a guy that maybe flies a little bit under the radar, but I have interest in. Jason Day's at 8.8. I'm probably going to pass on him. I know he's been in relatively good form, but I don't think I'm going to get to Day. Adam Scott's another guy that, is fine if you land on him. I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way to play him either. Tiger Woods at 8.6. It's always fun to play Tiger. He's 45 to 1 odds to win. It's just, I don't think I've seen enough from Tiger for me to confidently say that he has a chance to win in this tournament. Again, the ownership is always slightly higher on Tiger than it should be just because it's Tiger Woods and people love playing him. So, yeah, it's always fun to play him, but I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to play him. The guy that stands out to me is Patrick Reed right below him. And I like Patrick Reed a good amount here at 8.5. Another guy that has really good course history. 32nd, 4th, and 13th at the U.S. Open. He's 42nd off the tee. The accuracy's okay, or the distance is okay. The accuracy's a little bit of a concern, but other than that, 12th putting, 13th birdie or better, 26th tee to green, and he's at 8.5K. Those other guys I mentioned that struggle with accuracy were in the 9 to 10K range. I'm fine taking a shot on Reed for the price of 8.5K for the fact of the good course history. Everything else looks pretty good. I just think in the 8K range, him, Fleetwood, those are the guys I'm really looking to. Rose, I'm going to pass on. I know he's had some decent course history, but just not been in the best form. Ricky, another guy that's, sure, he's been okay here, but his recent form hasn't been great either. I don't really have an issue with Tyrell Hatton at 8.1. I think he makes for a pretty decent play. Finished 21st last year, 6th in 2018. All the numbers on him look pretty good. So 64th off the tee is not bad. The driving isn't terrible. He's 34th putter, 4th birdie or better. I think the numbers do look pretty good in Hatton. So he's a guy that I have interest in. I also have some interest in Victor Hovland at 8K. He is 60 to 1 odds to win. Besides the putter, just not terrible. Everything else looks pretty good on him. Birdie or better, tee to green approach, all really, really good. The price looks fair. Another guy's been in decent form here. Fitzpatrick's a guy that has had success at the U.S. Open, 12th, 12th, and 35th. Another guy that I think will get good ownership. And I agree. Things look pretty good for him. He's a really good putter. He's 38th in accuracy. So I get why he's been good at this U.S. Open. I think he will get ownership. So there are some interesting plays here in the 8K range. I think I got Patrick Reed probably my favorite, but Fleetwood's a guy I'm interested in. I think Hatton looks pretty good. Hovland and Fitzpatrick as well at 8K. Let's move on to the 7K range. So a lot to talk about here in the 7K range. I think the first 4 guys here look pretty decent. And Harry English at 7.9, Casey at 7.9, Woodland at 7.8, Answer at 7.8. All have pretty decent course history. Nothing really looks terrible on those 4 guys. The only concern there is Paul Casey putting 165th. Not a great putter, but he's been a guy that's been in better form recently. So I like all 4 of those guys right below the 8K range. And English at 7.9, Casey at 7.9, Woodland at 7.8, Answer at 7.8. Woodland did win it last year. I just think those guys, for their prices, look like pretty good plays if you're going more the balanced approach or if you need someone in the mid-range. I like all 4 of those guys a decent amount. Let's keep scrolling here. Like Matthew Wolf is at 7.7. I think he's a fine play. No real issue with him. I think I just slightly prefer the guys above him. Then we get to the mid to low 7K range. There's honestly not a whole lot I'm super excited about here. Like Spieth's a guy that is always playable, but he has not been good recently. People at DFS, they'll continue to play him. He continues to get ownership. I'll probably pass. I don't see it. Like, he's a good putter, but I don't know. I'm probably just not going to do Jordan Spieth. Sergio's a guy that usually doesn't get too much ownership. I actually think he's playable here. He's another guy that's been a little bit more up and down, but you're getting him at a decent price, 7.5. I feel like Sergio is usually a guy in like the low 8K range. Like, I think he's playable if you need someone in the mid 7K range. Sanjay M, another guy that's been very, very up and down, but at a playable price, right? Because earlier in the year, he was a guy in the 8, 9, even high 9K range. So I don't hate the idea of taking a shot on Sanjay. I just think he's a little bit of a riskier option at the moment. Let's see. Other options, I think a guy like Brendan Todd looks okay at 7.4. 4th in accuracy, 20th putting. The distance does worry me a bit, but the guy's been in relatively okay form as well. I'm probably not getting to Bubba or Phil or Ian Poulter or Champ. Stenson does have good history here in 9th and 6th, but I haven't seen enough from him for me to get really excited. He's only played twice since coming back from the coronavirus break. Matt Kutcher's the guy in the low 7K range that I think I like the most. 16th in 2 of the last 3 years in 19 and 17. Sure, his distance isn't great, but he's really accurate. He's a good putter, too. I just like the price on Kutcher, right? He's a guy that was normally in like the mid 8K range. Now he's at 7.2. So he's definitely one of my favorite plays here in the 7K range. I think that's really it for me in the 7K range. So there are some playable guys, right? The 4 guys at the top I think I like the most, but Sergio, Sanjay viable. I think Todd's okay. I think Kutcher is definitely one of my favorite value plays there at 7.2. So let's wrap it up with the 6K range here. And there actually are some guys that I have interest in the 6K range. Kevin Nas at 6'8". I always mention it with him, but he's the guy that has to deal with, he's dealing with injuries a lot. If you can just stay healthy, like, he's a good putter. He's 5th putting. He's good driving accuracy. The price point is very, very fair on Kevin Na. So I have interest in him as a cheaper option. He's 161 odds to win. I think that's pretty solid. So I do have interest in Na as a cheaper option. There's also a couple other guys here I do want to bring up. Let's see. Lanto Griffin. I always mention him as a value play, but 6.5K is a very fair price for a guy that, if you just look at his numbers, besides accuracy is a little bit shaky. Everything else is okay. And he's really, really cheap. Another guy, he's been in okay form too. So Lanto's a guy that I like as a value option. And I also like Max Homa at 6'4". I just think he's at a very, very playable price. Nothing really looks terrible on him either for a guy that's cheap. Joel Damon's another guy I do have some interest in. He's been a little bit more boom or bust. But when he's playing well, he has potential to definitely get you like a top 20, possibly even a top 10. So those 3 guys I've interest in. Lastly, Chesson Hadley at 6'3". He finished 9th here last year. He's good accuracy. He's really good birdie or better. I think there are playable guys down here. So that's probably it though for me. Like, I don't think I would really consider anyone else. Sure, Stricker finished 20th and 16th. In 18th and 17th if you want to just take course history into consideration. But yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways you can go, right? There's 3 or 4 guys there I mentioned below 7K that I think look pretty good. And then there's a good amount of guys at the top, more in the mid-range that I have interest in as well. So what am I going to do for my build? It's a tricky one, but right now I think I am leaning towards a little bit more of these stars and scrubs. I think there are playable guys below 7K. There's a few, or 3 or 4 or 5 guys that I mentioned that I think are that have potential to definitely make the cut. That's what you're looking for, guys that cheap. You just want them to make the cut. So there are potential plays down there. If you want to go more mid-range too, that is fine, right? There's a lot of guys, a couple guys in the 8K range right below in the high 7K range is a group that I like a good amount. And then at the top, right, there's Xander, there's DJ if you want to go all the way to the top. Webb, I think, looks pretty good. I always have interest in Finau, so Patrick Reed in the mid-8K range. Yeah, I'm just really, really excited to watch a major here for the U.S. Open. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. So if you haven't enjoyed the content so far, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload videos, you know when I go live. But yeah, thanks again, guys. I hope you guys all have a good day. Hope you guys have a good weekend for golf, and I will see you all later.